So let us see, right? Lay symbol. Lay symbol. What type of lay directionality is there? So lay is parallel to the line representing the surface. This perpendicular lay is perpendicular to the line X. Lay is angular in both directions. P, pitted, protuberant, porous or particulate non-directional lay. You know, pits and pores are small holes and so on, right? So you see, this is the surface line and the lay direction is parallel to it. This is the surface line and the lay direction is at 90 degrees to it. This is the lay direction line and this is the surface and lay is at angle. And there is no lay, but there are individual pores and particles and pits and so on the surface. And on the drawing, the symbol is like this under root type of sign, right? This line is there for surface and this under root sign means the type of problem that we have on the surface. So there is a parallel lay, there is a perpendicular lay, there is an angular lay, there is a particle or pore type of lay. So if, right, you are using drawings and you are in quality control, QC, QA, and you want to show what type of problems are there. This is now how do you measure surface roughness. You see, if surface roughness is there, how do you say that surface roughness on this part is more than the surface roughness on this part and so forth. So average of the vertical deviations from the nominal surface, right? The surface should be this line. The surface should be this line. The actual surface can be above it, below it, above it, below it, and so on, right? Depending on the machining that we have done, the average surface could be above or below it, the actual one. So there is lots and lots of go above, below, above, below, above, below. So at every point, you draw this line and you measure. You draw this line and you measure. You draw this line and you measure. So at many points on the surface, you have plus, right? You have plus more than on this Y. You have plus measurements. On many, you have lower measurements, right? So this is the length of the line that you will do. And what do you do if you add them, right? Plus, plus, plus so much and minus, minus, minus so much. What will happen? There may be a lot of roughness, but the plus and minus cancel each other out. And if you take this direct average, all the plus and all the minus add together, divide by the number of observations, then there may be big variations, but you show very small number in the end. So that is why, you know, in all such things where variation is plus or minus, there is an RMS meaning, right? You know, root mean square, RMS. This is there in all voice signals and optical signals and everywhere, that the average you take, you first square all the things. So all of these are squared and all the minus are also squared. So now the minus sign goes away. And then you take the average, but then you take the root of that also. So first you square all of them, then you take the mean or the average, and finally you take the root. So now you have a very real average value. It is not that the plus and minus are cancelling each other out. So this is just the formula, right? That RA is average roughness. RA is average roughness. And RQ is root mean square average. So this is normal average. You just add them plus minus, but this may not be a good value. So instead of RA, you use RQ actually, right? And Y, of course, is the vertical deviation on the surface and so on. So this is it. This is how we do it. And then there is an instrument when we go to later on that part of the chapter where we are seeing how is inspection done. Then there is a device called surface measurement device. You move it along the surface and it keeps on taking the readings. And of course, the surface is a two-dimensional thing. It is not a line. So on the surface, you move in one line from left to right. then go to another place, move from left to right, then go to another place, move left to right. So this way you try to cover the overall surface, and all the readings that are being done, then the machine automatically gives, if you have done 20 readings, 30 readings, 40 readings overall, by moving your surface measurement device on the surface at different lines, then it automatically takes the root mean square value, and the root mean square value is then shown on the system directly. Right? So this is how you do the surface measurement and so on. Okay. Here we are showing you the schematic of the machine, right? A stylus, the word is stylus. You know, when you have those phones on which there is a pen, a small pen, like a needle attached to it, and you can write and so forth. That pen is also called a stylus. So any needle type of device which is either used to write or to measure, it is like the end of a pen or the end of a pin, right? So it is called a stylus. So here if you see, you have this workpiece. This is your device schematically. This is your device, right? This is the head of the device. On the head, you have the stylus. You see, this is the stylus. So this whole portion is called a rider, and a stylus is a part of it. So this machine allows this whole thing to move along the surface, and to take lots of readings. And internally, there is a computer program and so on. There is a control mechanism so that the stylus goes up and down, measuring the positive or the negative deviations on the surface from the nominal one that should have been there, and it takes all the measurements. So here we are writing just that, measuring surface roughness with a stylus. The rider supports the stylus and guards against damage. In B, the path of the stylus in measurements of the surface roughness. The path of the stylus is the broken line. The actual surface is this. But you see, the stylus, we are showing a very blown up large version. It is actually quite sharp. But even if it is like the end of a pen, of a nib, then that nib has some thickness. So it will move, but it can't go into all the depths, right? If the depth is here, it will move until here and then go there. If the depth is here, it will move a little below and go there. So the stylus cannot be so sharp that it actually traverses the exact surface. So this will be sort of a rough measurement, not the 100% exact, but this is good enough. For all purposes, this is good enough, right? So the actual surface is this, the stylus path is the dashed one, right? So this we must understand, that if we want to make the stylus very, very thin, then its stability and strength will be a big issue, and we cannot do that. Therefore, we have to give it some strength and some stability. Therefore, some thickness of the pen will be there, and some roundness of the nib, the point of the stylus would be there. And because of that, the measurement will not be exactly as we want, but a little rough, but that will be good enough, right? That will be good enough. Now here, typical surface profiles. Typical means usual, that normally this is what happens. Now different machining operations, lapping is one operation, finish grinding is one operation, rough grinding is another operation, and turning is another operation. So you have been to the machine shop, you have been to the workshop. Turning is the operation, turning, that you do on a lathe machine. On a lathe machine, when you use a cutting tool and your workpiece is rotating, and you select a depth of cut and you select a speed, tool speed, then, right, the tool speed, the depth of cut, and the rotational speed, together they will decide how good the surface is. And you know that if you remember the workshop that when you want to do the final, initially you are just cutting and removal, but when you want to do the final round, when you want the surface finish very good, then you take almost a new tool with very sharp cutting edge and you increase the RPM. So with this combination of higher RPM and a very sharp tool, you get a good surface finish. But you can do rough turning when you want to remove material, and you can do finish turning. The variation in the surface is around 5 microns or 200 micro inches. The variation generally is around 5 microns when we do good turning. When you do grinding, right, you know the grinding wheel. There is a grinding wheel, you can take some material there, you rub against it like when you sharpen your knife, right, or the cutting tool. Or there is surface grinder. You put the material on the surface, the grinding wheel is rotating and moving along the surface. So whether the grinding wheel is rotating and manually you are taking your part and rubbing it against, pushing it against the grinding wheel like a knife, or you have placed your whole surface on the surface grinder and the grinding wheel is rotating and moving automatically. Both ways, you can do rough grinding initial first, and then you can do finish grinding. So in rough grinding, the total variation is around 3.8 microns. And in finish grinding, it is almost half a micron only, right? And then there is a very high level of surface grinding called lapping. This usually you have not done in the workshop, but if you want to do lapping, then it is half a micron or less. So it is much better than finish grinding, right? So rough turning, general turning, 5 microns, rough grinding, a little less than 4 microns, finish grinding, 0.6 microns, 0.7 microns, lapping, less than half a micron. So this is a very, see, 1 micron is already 1 micrometer, 10 raised to minus 6. So the surface, if you can control within 1 micron, is already a very good surface. But this is a great comparison that you have in your mind, that in terms of surface finish or in terms of surface roughness, you call it whatever you like. Surface finish or opposite surface roughness, both are the same meaning, right? So from general turning and milling to rough grinding to finish grinding to lapping, these are the ranges of surface finish that you get. So this was a very good, say, initial introduction to surface texture. What is the terminology? How do you measure it, right? Through a stylus and a surface measurement device. And then what are the general ranges of the surface finish or surface roughness in general machining operations. The next article in the book 4.4 is tribology. Tribology is the science of friction, wear and lubrication. So though it is very much a part of manufacturing, but because we want to cover other parts of this chapter and then some other chapters on other manufacturing processes, so therefore this portion of tribology, which is very important, but we are not covering it this time. I keep on telling you that if you end up in a job where surface finish is a major part, or you are part of the quality assurance, quality control team which is inspecting the surfaces, then you will study a little more about this tribology. And this also means that when you are making machines and using machines where cutting fluids and lubricants and so on are used so that the surface is of a better quality, then this is also related to that. That if you are using a milling machine, or if you are using a grinding machine, or if you are using a lathe machine, then what type of cutting fluids and lubricants you should use. So that is also part of this section 4.4, which we are not covering here. If you do that in a real industry, then within 1 week or 2 weeks of your training period, you will be pretty good at it.